Hello out there in YouTube world, Facebook world, social media world, the world. Okay, MGL coming to you with another musings. I'm gonna go off topic here today. I'm tired of talking about the event that's going on out there. Apparently, by the way, I found out that on YouTube, if you actually refer to this event that's going on out there as to what it actually is, you get kind of flagged, or it affects monetization or something. I don't know. I'm not like I don't get monetized. I don't have enough subscribers or viewers or anything. But apparently, that's kind of weird. That Facebook is basically, if you do a video and you actually mention the thing that's going on out in the world today, you somehow get flagged, and then Facebook demonetizes you or puts you in a timeout or something. Not Facebook, but YouTube puts you in a timeout or something. I don't know. So in future videos, you almost have to treat it like Voldemort, he who shall not be named, and you can't name the actual thing that's going on out there, but whatever. So in future videos I do that, I may not be able to refer to it that way. Like I said, I don't get monetized anyway, so I don't super care, but might as well not piss people off if you can avoid it. So, but this video that I'm going to do right here is kind of off topic on that issue, obviously, and it's more gun related issue. When I originally started this channel, as I said to a lot of people who may not know me, but most of you do know me, they call me the gun lawyer. I practice a lot of firearm stuff. I do a lot of Second Amendment rights stuff, practicing out of Florida. So most of my comments are going to be, if they're legally related, are going to be about Florida law, but I'm also going to get into just Second Amendment stuff in general. So I want to do a video here today. This is going to apply to everybody across the country on the main topic, but I may talk a little bit about the law, which is only going to apply to people in Florida. So if you're watching this video and you're not living in Florida, if I give you any legal statements, or I talk about statutes or whatever, just know that I'm not talking about statutes in any other state other than Florida. Okay. What I want to talk about here today are these gun magnets. Okay. Anybody in the gun community knows what I'm talking about. So a lot of companies out there sell these little things that are magnets, basically, and you see them all over Facebook. Ads pop up if you do enough Facebook searching, or if you do enough gun searchings, you'll get these little ads for these things. They pop up on all the different social media groups, so everybody's kind of familiar with them. Okay, so what they are these little magnets that hold your gun. Okay, and I got this page up over here. You'll be able to see there's a bunch of different types of magnets out there. There's a bunch of companies that sell them. And what they do is, so, here's a prime example. So basically, you take a magnet and you stick it somewhere in your car, and then you can slap your gun to it, and then it holds your gun in your car. That way you don't have to have it in a holster. You don't have to carry it on your person. You don't have to stuff it in between your seat or whatever. It makes for easier access, I guess people would argue. The benefit of them are. So they're, again, you see here, there are all kinds of different ways that you can use them. Now, you can use them outside of a car, obviously. So, for example, this one here is clearly on a desk, okay? So it's underneath your desk. So, for example, I'm a lawyer at my office. Let's say I wanted to have a gun under the desk like it's the Old West or something. Then you would take the magnet, as you see here in the picture, and you would stick it up underneath your desk. And then that way you can just reach under there and grab it and shoot the guy on the other side of the desk. Old West style, playing poker style or whatever. So they have uses for those type of things. I have one in my center console of my car. So my car that I drive has a center console, and there's a company out there, maybe I'll do a review on them one day because it's really cool, but they make a safe that goes into your center console. So you can unscrew the screws at the bottom of your center console, take them out, drop a safe in, screw it in so it's attached to your car, and then you have a combination at the top, so that way if you have to get out of the car and leave your gun in it, you can lock it in a safe. Now, I know a lot of people might say, oh, well, you should never leave your gun in your car, but look, as I said, I'm a lawyer, so I go to places that I can't carry my gun lots of times, mostly court. So if I go to court, I can't bring my firearm, so I have to leave it in the car. So anyway, so I put it in the safe, and I have a little magnet in the safe, so that way I can slap the gun inside the center console on the safe, so it doesn't rattle around or anything like that if for some reason I'm driving and it's still in there. So then I usually lock it in there, and I go into court and I come back out and unlock it. Then I put it somewhere where I can access it. But rather than just have it sitting in there, I like to slap it up against this magnet. So you can use it for instances other than that. But what I want to talk about today are the people who use it, as you see in these advertisements, where they just have it in their car and they magnet it to the side of their car. I mean, for example, like this. So here you see it's just a gun magneted, is that a word? Anyway, stuck to the side of your car simply by a magnet. So your gun is basically there. Now, again, obviously what people will tell you is this makes it good for easy access. I'm going to tell you two different things that I know and then my personal opinion about this item. So in Florida, again, I'm only dealing with Florida. In Florida, this would not be a legal way for you to carry your firearm. The way that this guy has it set up right here is, in my opinion, as a lawyer, is not going to be legal, okay? In Florida, we have two different ways you can carry a gun in your car. If you have a concealed carry permit, so if you've done all the paperwork and you fill out the paperwork and you have your permit, you're allowed to carry your gun on or about your person as long as it's concealed, okay? It's got to be covered, like I said, in your holster with your shirt over top of it, in the console where they can't see it, or just covered. It's got to be concealed in some way. So if you're carrying your firearm the way it is in this picture here, that's not going to be considered concealed by 99.9% of the cops, prosecutors, and judges out there, because you can see this in ordinary sight. And what they're talking about basically is when the police officer comes up to your window on your driver's side, looks into your car, show me your license, registration, or whatever. If they can see it, then it's considered to be in plain view, okay? So it's not concealed. So that's going to get you a charge of open carrying a firearm, which is not legal in Florida. If we had open carry here, you could do it. But in Florida, we don't have open carry. So if it's just slapped up against a thing like that and the cop walks up and he can see it, that's going to be illegal. Now, if you have a concealed carry permit, to make this legal, as stupid as it sounds, you could take this exact gun and just put something over top of it. You can put a rag over top of it, a bag or something on top of it. As long as you conceal it somehow, now you're in compliance with the statute as long as you have a concealed carry permit, because it is concealed. So you can literally have a firearm. If you set it on the seat next to you in your car while you're driving, that is always going to be illegal if it's just sitting there exposed, because it's not covered by your concealed carry permit or by what I'll get into in a second, which is a way to carry in your car without a concealed carry permit. So if you set it on the passenger seat, it's illegal, no matter what. If you have a concealed carry permit, you can slap a rag or a napkin or a bag or anything over top of that gun, and now all of a sudden it's legal because it is concealed and you have a concealed permit, so you can carry it that way. But this way, the way you see it in most of the advertisements that I get or that I see online, are basically like this, right? They're just there. They're exposed. The trigger is out. Nothing is covering it, and it's always going to be viewable by a police officer standing outside of your window, okay? So if you have anything like this in your car, that's just going to be illegal in Florida. You can't carry it that way, okay? The other way you can carry a gun in Florida is if you don't have a concealed carry permit, you can carry a gun in your vehicle as long as it is what they call securely encased or otherwise not readily accessible, okay? And the statute basically defines those terms as basically meaning it has to be in some sort of container. So it can be in your center console. It can be in your glove compartment. It doesn't have to be locked. The gun can be loaded. It can have a round in the chamber. It can be ready to go. But it has to be securely encased. So a holster with a snap on it that goes over the back that securely encases it is going to count. Glove compartment is going to count. Center console is going to count. Gun case sitting on your seat inside of a gun case that snaps closed is going to be legal. If you just take your holster and shove it between your seat and the center console and it doesn't have a snap that goes over the back of the gun, that's not going to be considered securely encased. It's going to be considered readily available, readily accessible, and you're going to get hit with a carrying concealed weapons charge. So you can't carry it that way either. So that's the other reason why you can't carry it this way in your car like this. If you have a concealed carry permit, we just went over that, you can't carry it that way. If you don't have a concealed carry permit, you also can't carry it that way because it's not securely encased. It's just wide open with the trigger being able to grab and be pulled. So these gun magnets in Florida are basically, no matter what, are going to be illegal. Again, the only exception is if for some reason you slapped it on the side of your car like we had before, and then all of a sudden throw a a blanket or something over top of it, or a rag or something, so that the police officer can't see it. But then if you do that, you defeat the whole purpose, which is to be able to easily grab it and pull the trigger. Okay, so that's my legal opinion on that issue. Again, if you're in Florida, that's a problem. Now, if you're in a state that allows open carry, I would imagine that because open carry is legal, you could probably carry it that way in one of those states. But again, this is for my Florida peeps because that's where I practice law. You can't carry it that way, and I would advise you as a lawyer not to use gun magnets in your car if you're in Florida. I would also advise you as a gun owner not to use these things because, in my quite frank, blunt opinion, they're stupid. Okay, I don't know why you would want to drive around in your car with your gun like this, just slapped up against the thing on a magnet. That is not secure in any way. Okay, it doesn't look to me like it would necessarily be easy to grab because it's flush up against the thing. So you're gonna either reach for it and have to fiddle to get your hand in there, or you're gonna knock it off the magnet and it's gonna flop down on the ground. For me, practical purposes, it just doesn't make sense. The other thing I think that is stupid about it is, what if you get in a car accident? Okay, I know they advertise these things as being like, super strong magnets and it can hold, however much weight or whatever, but I don't care what they advertise. If your gun is in your car, just slapped up against the side like this, you can't tell me that if you get into a car wreck, that thing's not flying off of there. Okay, you can't tell me that if you smash into somebody, rear end somebody real hard, that's not coming flying off there. You can't tell me if your car flips over on the interstate or something while you're driving, that gun's not flying off of there. And now you got a loaded firearm flopping around the inside of your vehicle compartment while you're doing rolling, flips on the side of the highway, or it flies out the window. I mean, how many times have we seen that? I've seen that. I'm sure other people have seen it or heard of it, where a car flips over and you find contents of the car now laying outside on the side of the road because it flew out the window or it flew out the windshield or something like that. So just from a practical standpoint, this doesn't seem safe to me to just have your gun with an open trigger like that, no holster on it, nothing protecting the trigger, slapped up against the side of your car. That I got to think if you hit somebody at 10 miles an hour rear end them, that thing's probably going to come popping up there. Now, again, I don't care what they say in their advertisements about how strong that magnet is or not. It's got to be weak enough for you to be able to grab it, obviously, and pull the gun off of it. So if it's weak enough for you to grab the gun and pull it off of it in a quick manner so that you can protect yourself, then it's got to be weak enough for that thing to come flying off there if you get into a car accident. So I would also advise you, partly as a lawyer, because, again, it's not safe to just have a firearm flopping around a vehicle accident scene, number one. But number two, just from a gun owner standpoint, and a family man who has a car with children that ride in it, don't just slap your gun up against the side like that and let it flop around. Okay, it's not safe. If it's on your person, if you've got it in your holster on your person like you always do when you're walking around, it's not going to come flying out if you get in a car accident. And if you've got it securely encased, as they say in the statute, inside a glove compartment or your center console or something, or even in a holster with a snap on it, the holster might go flying around everywhere, but at least it's still inside the holster with a snap on it, and it's not just floating around with everything exposed. So it just doesn't make any sense to me why you would carry your gun this way. So my legal thoughts on the matter, and this isn't really an opinion. Again, I just kind of talk and speak about things as a lawyer in my experience from what I've seen. I have prosecuted or defended cases of people carrying concealed firearms in their car and not having them securely encased. I've done the case law research on that. I've argued those issues with prosecutors and judges. So, I know based on experience what's going on, but I don't believe that these would be legal in Florida. I think you're going to run into a lot of problems with these. I don't think a lot of the law enforcement officers are going to be happy with these to walk up. Even if you have a rag over top of it, it's just not going to go over well with a lot of law enforcement officers, I think, if they just walk up and know that you've got a gun that's slapped there with a magnet with a rag on it. So don't carry them for legal purposes. And then for realistic purposes, I think it's stupid to carry these things as well because they're not safe. Now, look, if you've had good experience with these, go ahead and use them. I'm never telling anybody what they can or can't use. All I'm doing is giving you my practical opinion with a little bit of, several years of gun ownership knowledge and legal knowledge on what you should do with these things. I get this question all the time from people locally and people on Facebook and messaging me, asking me all the time what I think about these magnets. Are they legal? Are they not legal? So I just wanted to crank out a quick video. Again, from the legal standpoint, for disclaimer purposes, this is only for Florida, all right? And it's just my legal opinion based on my experience. Believe me or don't believe me, that's on you. But as far as practical wise, okay, that's me as a gun owner just telling you I think it's stupid for you to carry these. I've said that for years. I'll keep telling people that. If you disagree with me, go ahead and put a comment in the my comments section. If you think that I'm crazy and these are really great magnets and it's okay to carry them that way, then please comment on that as well. So as always, if you like what I have here to say, please like the page or subscribe to the page. Click the bell for notifications so you know when I put up new content. Give me a like, give me a dislike if you disagree. I'm happy to debate these issues with people. So go into the comment section, write a comment if you want to. I mean, that's fine with me as well. I'm just here to kind of give my opinion, and people can take it for what it's worth. But anyway, that's my quick little video on gun magnets. I don't use them. I don't recommend anybody use them. Get yourself a good holster. There's lots of good holster makers out there locally and nationally. Every store, can sell you a good holster. Get yourself a good holster. Get yourself a good safe for your car. Like I said, I might do a video on that later because that was a pretty neat product. But that's my opinion on that. If you agree or disagree, again, comment down in the section. But otherwise, for now, please stay safe out there, stay healthy, stay open if you can, and as always, please carry on, but in a safe and responsible way. Have a good one.